Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Confidence Factor Talks. My name is Rudy LaRose, and as always, every Tuesday at 6:30, I am in the building. Tonight, I have a powerful conversation that's about to take place. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a powerful conversation that's never happened with this guest. First time on the show, but yet very well represented in everything that we do. As a matter of fact, if you haven't had a chance, make sure you check out our book on Amazon, right? Yeah, on Amazon, 7steps.confidencefactor.com. You will be able to check out our book on Amazon because of this guest tonight. Man, I'm so excited to have all the way from I'm not even gonna mention it. You're gonna have to watch the show. So, if you're watching for the first time, make sure you mention your comment. Put your information in the comment section so we can know who you are, where you're watching from, and all that. Because we have a great show for you tonight. We're gonna be talking about how to level up your business. That's right. From Orphan to CEO, 7 steps to grow your business to 7 figures. 7, not 6. Not 5. As a matter of fact, if you're making 6 figures, it's like, it's pretty common now, right? But it's that next level. It's that breakthrough fire that we bring in tonight with an incredible story to back it up, man. So I'm super excited for the show. I can't wait. So do me a favor, if you're watching tonight, wherever you're watching from, Facebook, YouTube, the replay, wherever you're watching from, make sure you put in your name in the comment section. Put in hashtag heart level if you're feeling what we're talking about. We'll talk about that a little bit, what that means. But put in hashtag heart level. If you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay so that we know that you are in the building with us. So excited to have each and every one of you. Let me know what city you're representing. This is a conversation, guys. It's not just a one way where you're sitting there and you're listening. It is a conversation back and forth. Put in your comments, put in your questions for this wonderful guest that we have tonight. I can't wait to introduce her. Yes, we have a lady in the building, and the boat, and the man cave. A lady has infiltrated the man cave, fellas. And that, there's a few that get to do that, and she's one of them. They have infiltrated the man cave for the show tonight, and I can't wait to have this conversation with her. Without further ado, I want to get the crew on board all the way from, all the way from where the country music never sleeps. You know what I'm saying? Where the country music never sleeps. Everything is 40 minutes, 40 miles away. I don't know. It's one of them. I still can't figure it out. One day when I go to this place, I'll know. But ladies and gentlemen, it's the doctor, the feel-good doctor himself, Mr. Bobby B.
What's up? Today is a great day, and it is the best day of my life, baby. You can't do nothing with yesterday. It's already gone, and tomorrow is definitely not promised. So all you ever have is today. Man, we got the 7-figure guest coming on, going to teach us about these 7 figures, Rudy. Hey, listen. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9, you know what I'm saying?
9, baby. That's what we want, those 7 figures. So what's up? Belize, I see you. Africa, I see you. The Philippines, I see you. Costa Rica, I see you. Antigua, I see you. Oh, welcome to CF Talk.
Jamaica, I see you.
Welcome to CF Talk. This is where we have heart level conversations that actually lead to transformation. And tonight is going to be powerful. Guys, if you don't know, this is Confidence Factor, and this is where we use our SMART principles. We have our SMART principles. How do you level up and go from where you are to where you want to be? We believe at Confidence Factor, you need to use the SMART principles. And what's SMART principles? Number 1 is self-mastery. Self-mastery. You got to know yourself, know who you are, what you're about, what you stand for, where you're going. The Greeks said, know thyself. Second principle is accountability. Accountability. My grandmother always says, you know, you got to surround yourself with people who celebrate you. My spiritual mom told me that as well. You got to surround yourself. And, you know, research shows that when you have a support group, it's actually good for mental health. It's and that you have a better quality of life. And what we find out is that you get results a lot faster. Last but not least, you got to have the right resources and the right tools. That's what we offer here at Confidence Factor, the right resources and tools to help you level up and get to the next level. And we do that by using our signature program, Unleash Your Riches, which we are actually going through right now. But however, we do have two more guys that we need to bring to the top of the stage. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and bring them up. But I want to know where you are and what we're here to do. Go ahead, Rudy. Get them, bring them up.
Speaking of level up. No, we don't level down or we don't level sideways over here. We keep leveling up step by step, brick by brick, layer by layer, man. And this guy's been doing nothing but that. We've seen him grow. We've seen him take some elevation, some hits, and still going all the way from the old town where the city never sleeps, where the rodents make more money than us, bro. You know what I'm saying? The mouse, the cat, the dog. Ladies and gentlemen, from Orlando, Florida, make some noise for Dr. Love Jones in the building, indeed.
What's up? What's going on? This is Dr. Love Jones. And I want to tell you guys this straight up, right? This moment is the most important moment. Whatever you're dealing with right now, it was a result of who you were yesterday. So if you want to create a better tomorrow, be the better person you are right now. Because there's power in the moment. What's up? I'm here. I feel good. We're here Tuesday. You said what, 7 figures? You said 7 figures. Did I get that right? You said 7?
7.
7.
Hey, I call it the sexy 7. The sexy 7.
The sexy 7. You know what's funny about the 7? When you hit the 7, you can't even go back, bro. Like it don't even like you can't even go back to 6. It doesn't even feel right. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you start driving a Bentley, like what you gonna go? Like you gonna go from a Bentley to what? To like Mercedes Benz? Nah. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
You go backwards. You
can't go back, man. You can't go back, man. So excited to have her. And once again, last but not least, all the way from Sao Paulo. You know what I'm saying? Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Brazil.
Hey, we international, baby. Brazil. The building. I gotta learn how to say that in Portuguese. All the way from Brazil, Mr. Lamont Gwen. Tudo bem?
Hey.
Boa noite. What's going on, brothers? What's going on?
He learned a new word. Okay.
Hey, you know he had a good time. He's coming back with the language.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be straight up. You know how in Vegas they say whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm gonna just say when you go to Brazil, just leave your cell phone. Don't take no evidence.
No evidence.
No, you don't need it. No evidence.
Evidence.
It was amazing. Let me tell you, the one thing that I loved about Brazil, besides the culture and the language, is it looked like Florida. It looks like America. Like the people there look American. It was just amazing. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be back in the Confidence Factor cave. I'm glad to be back. And I know we're going to have a great show tonight.
Now, we're going to be very specific. They look like Miami Beach Americans, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look like from everywhere.
Let me tell you, there was a couple of people. There's a couple of people look like they from Newark up in there. I'm going to just be honest.
No, it's funny. I got one of my people from Newark actually lives in Brazil now, so you might have saw him out there.
Yeah. It was amazing. Thank you. Glad to be back.
We got an incredible show, man, for sure, man. But listen, before we bring this amazing, incredible person, man, how amazing of a time we've had with Unleash Your Riches, Bobby. I mean, man, I gotta highlight that for a second, because every time we get off the call, there's breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, not just on our Sunday night calls, but even throughout the week. Today, I spoke with the guys, and man, they are on fire. And so I hope your guys are back from vacation, Bobby. But I know they were representing, man. But
Yeah, yeah, they were
it's been
representing.
amazing, huh?
Yeah, it's powerful because each individual, each group is taking care of their section of riches, right? And so my group happens, the predominant thing, our letter we're working on is it's not the money section, right? And so a lot of times we get caught up, and that's what we say riches is so important, because it's not just about the money section, right? So riches is relationships, income, community contribution, health and fitness, education, and in spirituality. We got a well-rounded man, a real high value man, right? Is what we're after. So we got to take care of each one of those parts of our lives. And so our guys went out on vacation. They had to step out, but that was still part of the mission. And I think that's what we're offering, which is so dope, which makes it look different, is that we're not saying, hey, get involved with this group, just grow your money, grow your money, grow your money. We say, no, level up, grow you. And that's going to mean sometimes pulling away and spending relationship time with the people who matter the most. And so that's what I think is dope about it.
Yeah. I know Lamont was listening to one of our calls with the incredible Tasha Chin. Shout out to Tasha Chin in the building as always, man. Lamont, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we know we got the new development on that too. We got that bats. We got
yeah.
Tasha Bats. Listen.
I'm sorry I wasn't on the call because I was away, but when I would listen back to it, man, when you talk about 90% spiritual, 10% hard work, not even hard work, but 10% work, 90% spiritual, 10% work. That in the flip side for men, because we are very 90% hard work, but to change that dynamic. In one of the brothers had a breakthrough. I called him because I wasn't on the call. I called him when I got back and I said, I just want to know, how did things land for you? And he said to me, it was the biggest shift. He said, after that call, I realized that I did not have to be the man to reach 1 billion people. All I have to do is build a team to do it. Bam, you got it. So that's the power of our mastermind, the Unleash Your Riches, and Tasha just adds so much incredible value to that yesterday.
Man, it was amazing, man. It was absolutely amazing. And without further ado, guys, listen, I can sit here and read these accolades. I mean, we could talk about her being from Kingston, Jamaica. I hope I said it right. Jamaica. Wagwan, brethren. Kingston, Jamaica. From being a government-run homes, to go into the White House, from the trauma of teen pregnancy, from failed relationships, from all the things that she'd had to endure, to now being the founder and creative director of Business Mogul Academy. She teaches, she coaches, she helps students and clients to start businesses and publish books. This lady has done it all. She's got a fashion line. She's got a publishing house. She's got a whole. Listen, she's got some things now. I mean, investments all over the place. She is a dear friend of mine, and I love her to pieces. I remember us having many, many great conversations in our offices in Fort Lauderdale. And what I can remember from her is her resilience. Like, no matter what was going on in her life, you could not tell. Like, I tell you, this woman does not have one single bad picture on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, like, I went back to the very first picture she ever posted. I can't find none. Like, I don't know. Somebody went and just scrubbed them all. Like, I can't find any. So it goes to show you that she does her work. She does it very well. She carries herself amazingly. She's a great human being. And I am incredibly honored to have tonight the amazing, the incredible, the illustrious Dr. Joan Wright-Good in the building.
See, I gotta come in like I'm a Jamaican, But my gun is different. No.
Oh, my bad.
But hey, everybody. And for those who are watching from Jamaica, because I did invite some people, Wagwan. That's how you say Wagwan.
Wagwan.
I am so excited to be here with you men. Like I said, the green room, I actually feel honored to be in the chamber with kings, not princes, but kings. You know, so I bow. Thank you.
Welcome to our chamber.
Is it in
Joan,
Wakanda?
It is in Wakanda. There will be no challenge today. But it's so I'm so happy to have you tonight. It's been a long time coming, as I said. And first of all, the fellas and I thank you for having us having helped us publish our first book. That's right. She helped us publish our first book, 7 Steps to Unstoppable Confidence. Unstoppable Confidence. And man, that's just one book though. Like, we got a few of them coming, so just be ready for us. We got a few of them coming. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, we really want to say thank you. And I know if the professor was here, he would say it too. We want to just honor you and thank you and just truly respect your craft and the time and effort and energy you put into be able to know how to do all of that, right? To help us, because we individually, we probably sat on that book about 30, 40 years, right? So each of us, I think each of us was probably, I think 14 was the minimum amount of time of years that we wanted to write the book, and nobody did, right?
Yeah.
And so you were there to help us facilitate and assemble the first dream that had been sitting on the shelf for a very long time. So we want to celebrate and honor you publicly in front of everyone and say thank you. We appreciate you. We value, respect what you do. So we appreciate the journey you went on to be able to help us with that.
Oh, you guys are welcome. I did appreciate the fact that you actually asked me to help you. But as I said to Rudy, and I'll say it to the group, that's just the first step. You guys have 6 more streams of income that's tied to the book. Like, we need those tours. We need the tours. We need the workshops. We need all of that. So we're waiting on those, So yeah, there's a lot more to do.
See, fellas, right off the bat, now I got to put in some work. I got to take some notes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be ready for this ride. I'm ready.
Dude, I feel like she's stuffing money in our pockets. I don't know. Like, okay, that's good. You got a little bit of money, but hey, we missing 6 other income streams.
Y'all
look at the table, fellas.
Listen, y'all leaving a lot on the table.
God.
Well, don't spill the beans just yet. So before you tell us how much money we're leaving on the table, let's talk about your journey, my dear. Let's talk about first of all, tell us a little bit about the background, the before picture of what we see, the queen that we see today. Tell us about that.
Okay, so as you mentioned, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. I was born to a teen mom, and when she found out she was pregnant, she ran away from home. And it's unfortunate she found herself with a pedophile. In Jamaica, we call him a kingpin. So she found herself in this relationship that she did not want to be in. She was abused. He had other women. He thought it was a Hebrew Israelite, but so she ran away and found refuge with somebody else. And after she gave birth to me, she got pregnant again. And when she went to the hospital to give birth to my brother, who, God rest his soul, is now deceased, he was murdered. I was picked up by the police. So I was picked up by the police when I was about 4 years old. And because, I couldn't tell them, they actually found me wandering on the street naked. So yeah, I was at home sleeping when my mom went to the hospital. I woke up, was looking for my mom, did not see her. So I opened the gate and I started walking. Didn't know I was walking on the busy streets of Kingston. And so when the police found me, they took me to the Maxfield Park Children's Home, which is one of the biggest foster care kind of home. It's government run in the island. And so I was there for about 2 years. And when it came time for her to prove herself to be a fit parent, when they took me to the court so she could argue her case, the police gave me to her to take me to the bathroom, and she stole me. So she ran away with me, and because she did not want to get into any legal troubles, instead of keeping me, she sent me to another part of the island to stay with her aunt, which was like 70 years old at the time. So here I am, a 6-year-old child, with this old lady. I've never been in the country. I don't know them. So it's safe to say I grew up with a sense of rejection and a sense of not knowing who I was. And I had identity crisis and issues from a very early age. So, you know, I was ejected from where my mom was, took to this home, not treated well there, ejected from there, being among strangers, being told that I'm ugly, I'm black, you know, who are you? Why do you talk different? Because if anybody knows Jamaicans, you know, every single parish, which is like a city you go, the dialect is different. So here I am, a Kingstonian, I'm coming in talking Kingston, like, you know, how I'm talking now, but then the dialect in the country is very deep and African sounding. So, you know, I'm in this environment, not being liked, again, rejection, didn't go to school for all that time. And so, you know, going into a school setting, having to get to know kids, it was crazy. But to make a long story short, I was molested by a teacher when I was in the country. And so mental illness began to set in. But because my grandaunt was Pentecostal, and if you know anything about growing up Pentecostal, everything is the devil. And so instead of trying to seek help, they said I was demon possessed. And so she couldn't take care of me. So she shipped me back to Kingston, where my mom had other children. I don't know my father, don't know these children, don't know nothing. Find myself in the inner city of Kingston, which they always had gang wars. And so like literally at nights, you'll hear gunshots, you'll hear gunmen walking in your homes, you know, hear of your neighbors dying over a pot of water kind of thing. And, you know, found myself in this situation trying to get to know who I am, where I fit in, all these things. And so, you know, grow up looking for love in all the wrong places. And at 17-year-old, I found myself, even though I was the brightest kid in my school at the time, not my school, my class at the time, getting pregnant for the first person who told me I was pretty, and then dropped out of high school and thought my life was done and over. But fast forward, I picked up myself, went back to school, went to the university, got my first degree, got a second degree, a law degree, got married. Marriage was abusive, and I don't know where tell me when to stop. So that
no, you good, you good.
Went back to church, you know, trying to find out who God is, because he said he loved me, all that stuff. Because I got baptized at 7 when I was with my grand aunt. So again, found myself in church, and the first person said, "Hey, you kind of cute." You know, I got married to them because your church say you got to get married. So got married. Didn't know that he was a former gang leader at the time. So he still had his demons that he was struggling with. So, you know, where they say spirits attract, you know, so we were two lost people trying to find some kind of sense of belongingness. And that happened on, you know, for about 7 years before I left the marriage. Funny thing is, we were already millionaires in Jamaica, because when we came together, you know, kind of combined my you know, education with his street wits, and he was in music. So we grew a business and we were multi-millionaires. So we were doing well. However, with the divorce, I was reduced to nothing because, you know, how divorces are. And so I moved to the United States after that. And again, you know, found myself searching until I found some sense of what you'd call it, some sense of identity and some sense of stability. And was while being in the U.S., down on my, you know, my last dollar, sleeping on the floor, all kind of different things. I asked God, you know, what should I do with myself? I mean, I was in Jamaica making all this money. Now I'm here. At one point, I was working at RB's, you know, just not knowing what to do with myself. And I heard the word SWOT analysis. And that was when I wrote that down, and I, you know, looked at what my strengths are, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I decided to invest in the strengths and start my first business.
Stop right there, man. Wow. Y'all hear this, fellas? Y'all hear this? Y'all hear where this queen has come from? I mean, it's just incredible to me how resilient one can be when faced with opportunities, right? Because I was watching I was watching a couple of interviews over the past couple of days, and so different between uh, um, Sidney Poitier's life, right, and Marvin Gaye's life.
Mm.
Both had opportunities, but man, very different lives, lived. And as I listened to your life, I can only imagine how many times you could have just given up. You said, you know what, forget it. And perhaps you thought about that. Tell me, what was it? I mean, what was it? What was in your mind? I know you had a child at the time. What was it in your
Mhm.
mind? What are some of the things that kept you in the forefront of, I gotta try? I got to try the next. I got to wake up. What were some of those things?
Well, as you know, Rudy, and one of the things I always love, I love when there are witnesses in the room. I've worked with Rudy. We've shared offices, so Rudy knows this. That what I just told you is an abbreviated version of what really happened.
Right.
Really, really, really abbreviated. And so there were so many times that I wanted to give up. My why was bigger than I had a child, because by now I had two girls. It was bigger than that. Obviously, my faith played a very, very big role in that. To this day, my faith is the foundation of everything that I do. But I think the biggest thing was the promise that I made to myself. There was a promise I made to God, but then there was a promise I made to myself. I knew for a fact that I was created to create impact. I knew that my birth was that kind of elephant kind of birth. I mean, if anybody know the story of the dog and the elephant, my kind of creation was something that would shake the earth. And so I knew that I hadn't scratched the surface yet. I knew that there were things in me that I did not see manifest yet that I knew would manifest. And so every time something came, because the thing is that every God gift is going to come with a human challenge. And I knew that early on. The more gifted you are, the more challenges you'll have. The more impact you were created to make, the more issues and sorrows you'll have. So every time something came up, for me, it was almost saying to me, okay, it's graduation time. You're leaving elementary, you're going to the next level. You're leaving that level, you're going to high school. You're leaving high school, you're going to college. You're leaving college, you're going to a second. So that's how I saw my life. Every time something happened, I knew I was being matriculated to the next level. So I always asked myself, what's the next? And so that was what I used to know that there is bigger and better. Obviously, Rudy would know this. I got married again to a Jersey resident, Jersey in the house.
Look at Javon's face. Look at Javon's face.
So I got married again, and I certainly thought that this was my Cinderella time, and it was a time of restoration. And actually, I posted recently on Facebook in memory of my deceased husband, and I said sometimes I still ask myself what those 12 years were about. But in truth and in fact, I actually know that those 12 years, I mean, 12 is so significant in scripture. 12 means perfection. It's the finishing of one thing. Again, just like what I said. And so I knew that there was something that I did not get in that first marriage that God needed to perfect in me. And not just in me, because I don't want to be selfish. Something had to be perfected in my husband as well. And, one of the things I knew that was perfected was his dependency on other substance. So I got married again and, started the business, and the business started out good, but then, there were ups and downs. So that's why we're going to talk about how you scale. So, 1 month I'll make 2,000, next month I'll make 10, next month I'll make 20, then it goes back down to 2. And so there was no consistency. But albeit there was no consistency because my personal life was dipping into my business life. It's very important to make the demarcation. And so there was so much happening at home. My husband was addicted to crack, let's call it what it is, because he did share his testimony. So I'm like, okay, there's a new kind of battle. I wasn't prepared for this, don't know how to handle this. I'm from Jamaica. I know weed and I know rum and all those things. Crack, crack is whack. That's what Whitney said, right? So I didn't know how to deal with this battle. But as you know, Rudy can tell you, there was not one day that I got up and pointed my finger at God. There was not one day I got up and and was woe is me. There was not one day that I got up and said, why me? I knew that God trusted me with this situation because he saw what was in me. And so I fought the fight, as much as I could. We did 12 years together, but I always say that death has taught me so much more than life could.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And so now I'm living more on purpose because of the passing of my husband. I absolutely understand what life is about, what life should be about, and why we need to live on purpose for purpose.
Lamont, you had a question?
I did. Excuse me, I did. And I think you kind of answered it a little bit because in listening to your story and having a story similar to your husband's, your deceased husband, and being dealing with addiction, I know there came a point in time when I had to separate myself from my past.
Yes.
And so I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about, you mentioned the graduation piece, right? But if you could talk a little bit about how did you successfully separate yourself from your past so that you could be your best self now?
That's a good question. One of the things I did was I realized, I looked at how we build anything that is going to have some kind of effect. If you look at people building a house, you never put the roof on first. You put the foundation, everything that is needed, and then you go up. You never go down. In the Bible, when God is sending his people, you never say go down. Go down to, he always say go up. So you go up. So I realized that the things that were happening to me were actually happening for me. So they were actually like building blocks. They were things that I needed to look at and see what were the lessons. So I never saw myself as the victim. I never saw myself as the student. I actually always see myself as the teacher, because when you are a teacher, you're also learning. And so sometimes we find ourselves as perpetual students. So we never, even though we get the lessons, we never apply them. And the important thing is to take these things and apply them. I like to talk about right people placement and right things placement. One of the reasons why some people don't see success in their lives and businesses is because of wrong people placement. And so you place somebody in a role or in an area that you believe, or because you like them, you think they're going to do well, but that's not what they're gifted to do. And so when they're failing, we believe that they're not gifted, but no, you plant them in the wrong place. And so it's just like you can't take a coconut tree and plant it in a plant pot. It's going to die. So even though it might be the right soil, right tree, but the wrong pot is still going to kill it. So for me, I looked at all the lessons. Was I rightly positioned? Was I dating my assignment instead of fulfilling the assignment? What was this? What should I have learned? Did I learn? I can tell you, I didn't learn all the lessons from my first marriage. And so that's why I was actually placed back into the classroom, because I didn't graduate. I left the class, but I hadn't graduated. And so that's how I took the things from my past to say, okay, that was wrong. This didn't work here. Put this over here. It's like doing math. I'm hoping that answers your question, but that's how I look at the things that happened in my past and knowing how to separate myself and then to use the different variables to build what I'm trying to build in the future.
Beautiful. Love that.
All right. So I have a question myself. First off,
Yes,
representing Newark, New Jersey. So let me just say that.
He's like, Norton is different from Trenton, okay? Don't mix us
Big
up.
difference. It's a big difference. We up north. They central. That's a little different. But anyway. But so I have a question. You just said that death has taught you more than just life, right? Mm-hmm. So my question to you is this: what are some of the things that you said you learned from the losing other people around you than you have otherwise?
Okay, wow, that one is deep. One of the things I've learned is the importance of treating people well. It's the first thing. The first thing. You have to ask yourself, how do I want to be remembered? And that's how you need to lead your life. How do you want to be remembered? That's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is that it's not what you do, it's not how people value you, it's not what you say that is going to mean something in the end. And I'll give you an example. When my husband was on his deathbed, right? We were actually having marital issues. And I remember when the hospital called, and when I called back the hospital, you know, a family member, she wanted to go see him and to talk to him and everything. And the nurse, you know, when the nurse asked her name and she gave her name, the nurse was like, well, you know, I can't, your name is not here. And she said, well, whose name is on the thing? And she said, his wife. And she was perturbed by that because she believed, based on where we were in the marriage, that, you know, they would have gotten preference as a result. I mean, I've had several lawsuits after that, another show for another time. The point I'm trying to make is that when people are dying, they don't think about how much money they've made. They don't think about the car they drove. They don't think about anything, actually. They don't think about the Versace. And Rudy can tell you, my husband was a sharp dresser.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay?
he was. Yeah, he was.
He was smooth like butter, right?
Yep.
Actually, when I went to the hospital to pick up his, you know, when they take the clothes off, you put in that bag, and I posted about that. That bag is a memorial that I have because all it had was his watch, his top, and the shorts that he went to the hospital with. That's all. And so I take that and I ponder on these things. I'm like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how we grow and, you know, get high. We're always reduced to the smallest fraction of who we are. And that's what life has taught me. So as a result, I came back from that, knowing that everything that I'm doing, it has to be done with some sense of intentionality, some sense of changing somebody else, some sense of putting right things in places, some sense of having all of my ducks in a row. Because how you live is how you're going to die. And let me explain that. If you live life carelessly, trust and believe, when you die, that's the same thing that's going to happen. There's not going to be any legacy. You know, people who you think, I mean, there were people who I thought would have been at my husband's funeral who were nowhere to be found. You know, it's crazy, but I'm putting it in a book. It's kind of hard to explain, but we have to live on purpose.
That's good. That's really good. Wow, that's really good. So, talking about living on purpose, Dr. Joan.
Yes, sir.
Man, you've been up to some things, man. You've been stacking. Okay, you've been stacking. I love what you said about that, by the way. Using your circumstances as stepping stones is what I wrote down. Because essentially, as you're learning from each circumstances, you're stepping on them to go to the next level. You heard that, Dr. Jones? You're stepping them, Dr. Love, sorry. You're stepping them to go to the next level as opposed to allowing them to step on you. Allowing them to be on top of you. You're using those circumstances, situations to step on and say, okay, here's another situation for me to step on to go to the next level and the next level. And as far as business, I've seen you do that as well. I've seen you use every single thing that you've learned in business and use it as a stepping stone to go to the 7-figure level. So let's talk business, baby. Let's talk business. So tell us about that. Tell us how you got started in that. And, you know, what are some of the things that we as men need to learn about that? Because I'm going to tell you, we've been talking about finances, man, for the last, you know, couple of weeks. We're studying Think and Grow Rich as a community. And we've been talking about, you know, the different things that we need to learn. And so talk to us a little bit about how you got started in that aspect. And then what are some of the tools now that we can use to be able to do that as well?
Let me kick this off, not to put any guilt on you guys, but the first stepping stone that made me a millionaire was my book. When I wrote my first book about my life and about the divorce and everything, I was invited to a retreat to speak, right? The book was fresh. It was hot off the press. I went to this retreat and I brought books to sell. Obviously, I'm going there thinking, okay, I'm going to speak and sell some books and make, maybe make $200-$300. I went there and I told my story. And at the end of speaking, I was handed a check for $2,500. Now, this almost 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when I opened the envelope, I was like, they made a mistake. You get paid to speak.
You didn't know?
You get paid to tell your story? So
right.
That was what started this domino effect. Not only did I realize that there was a space for my story, I realized that there were others who needed to tell their story, but they did not have the platform. They did not have the help. And so from the book, I started to help other people to tell their story. And then I started out free, of course, because people had questions. And Rudy, I've said this every time. If people are asking you questions, it means they see you as an expert in that field. Never devalue your expert. If you wear a bow tie and people are asking you, how do I tie a bow tie? Best believe you can create a class and sell that for $25, right? Just teaching how to tie bow ties. So because people kept coming to me, I was like, I'm onto something. So then I started teaching that. Then they kept coming back. Okay, I've done this, but now I'm going to get in my points. So that was when I started the publishing company, right? So that's three streams of income from the book: the speaking, the classes, the publishing company. Started the publishing company. And then with publishing, I realized, okay, people are saying, okay, I did the book. Now, how do I get in front of my audience? What's that? They need marketing. So what did I do? I provided marketing. I started a marketing company, right? And the list goes on and on and on. The point is, it started with one book. The book was the staircase. It was the gateway. It was the building block that actually led to 7 figures. So I tell people all the time, no, book sales is not going to get you 7 figures. It's what you do as a result of the book. Where the workshops, I created Good Life Global Tour, which was a workshop that I took internationally. Like, I literally created a tour. This was before I see everybody touring now. But I took the concept from the music business. So the question that was asked about my past, my first marriage, my husband was a singer. I was his manager. We were doing tours. And what I did was I kept all of the contacts for all those people. And even though the product was now different, it's not music. When I did my book, I reached out to all of them. I was like, hey, I'm coming into town. I'll be in Toronto. I'll be here. I'll be there. Can I get in front of your congregation? Can I get in front of your audience? And they all said yes. So I put a tour together by myself, pitched to somebody. I'm like, hey, I need a sponsor, got some money. And it was like I said, the rest was history.
Dr. J, hold on. Dr. J, hold on a second. Let me tell you how important this is. You see, all the fellas are smiling right now. All of them are smiling. I'm going to tell you why they're smiling. Who in this room either has a book or is working on a book? Raise your hand. Listen, we're all listening and watching this like before our eyes. Why? Because here's the thing. Success leaves clues, right?
There you go.
I don't need to go to Google, to YouTube, to Instagram, to none of that stuff to get the information that I need when I have you right here, right now, that's laid the foundation from book. I wrote book, speaking, classes, publishing, marketing, and the list goes on.
Workbook. So you need the workbook. So when you plan the retreats, you're not. See, what are you guys doing now? What are you studying? Think and Grow Rich. You could have had a group that is using your book and your workbook as a study.
Yep.
So here it is.
Look at Bobby. Look at Bobby. Bobby's already thinking. The only thing we haven't seen from you, Dr. Joan, is the movie. You know what I'm saying? That's
well,
coming.
that's coming. That's coming. That's coming.
That's the Lifetime movie, man. I can't wait. But man, awesome.
So sorry. So again, the book started it, but let me just get into some ways of how you can scale, because the thing is that what some people do and how they leave money on the table is that they believe that because you start with one thing, you have to finish with it. We already see, if you look at what they call Blockbuster, look at the person who created typewriter. Just because you created something that was ingenious doesn't mean that that thing is going to be forever needed. Okay, so you have to learn how to scale. Every 3, 6, or 12 months, you have to look at your numbers, look at your product, and learn to scale your business. How do you do that? You know, I got lots of ways, but one of the first ways I like to tell people, and let me hold that point here. Rudy, you said something, and I don't like missing points. You said, why do you have to go to Google or other places to look? One of the things I tell people all the time when I speak is that one of the ways to not lose focus is to find one rich person. One rich person, one 7-figure earner, 8-figure earner, not whatever. Find one person and look at everything that they do and try to follow. Try, because you probably won't be able to do everything, right? Because you know what? Rich people follow rich people. Poor people follow poor people. So we have to look at rich people and follow what they do. Look at poor people and don't follow what they do. Right? So that's very important, what you said there, Rudy. But one of the things I like to tell people in order to make sure you're scaling right is we have this thing that a lot of coaches tell people: find the pain point, find the pain point, find the pain point. That's good. We have to move our focus from the pain point and put it on the pleasure point. What do I mean by that? Okay, so you found a pain, right? I said this recently. I was speaking in Jamaica. You don't give someone Advil if they have monkeypox, right? You don't. Right. And so what we're trying to do, we're trying to apply this one Band-Aid over everything. So you find a pain point, but now that you fix the pain point for your client, what is the result? So the pleasure is the result of fixing the pain, right? Okay, so now that you've fixed the pain, how does that make them feel? What are they going to go on to do? Are they going to go on to make more money? So you've helped somebody to make more money. As a result of making the money, what are they now going to do? Are they going to go on more vacation? Do they have more time? So the focus is not just the pain point. It should be the pleasure of the solution. So when you focus on that, you'll add more value to your people. The second thing I like to tell people, and let me know when my time is up, right?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
We're going to be here till midnight. You good.
I often say to people, stop selling what you're selling and start buying what you're selling. And I'll tell you
say that again. Say that again.
Stop selling what you're selling and start buying what you're selling. Because sometimes we don't even believe our own self. You know that. You see this a lot with people, and I'm not prejudiced or anything, but would you buy weight loss pills from somebody who's overweight?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so a lot of times we're trying to sell something that we haven't even acquired ourselves. A lot of people talking about mindset, and they're selling mindset, and their minds are not even together. Their elevator doesn't go all the way up to the top. So you have to make sure that you can buy what you're selling. Number 3, why a lot of people don't hit 7 figures is that they don't have a premium offer with their products. They don't have a premium offer. So they have several offers, but they leave out a whole audience because they don't have something that's premium. Again, a premium is kind of equivalent to high ticket, but one of the things that you don't want to do, you have to know how to communicate to your people. Never tell somebody that you have a high ticket offer, because high ticket means expensive. So if you say I have an expensive offer, you're already turning off the people, you're repelling them. You have to use words that they will value. So you say high value. You add things that they will be able to value. So whatever your so for you guys, the high value could be your retreat. If you plan a retreat, that's your high value. That's the thing that you're going to charge $10,000 for people to come into. That's different from your workshops. It's different from you speaking. It's different from your workbook. But you always want to make sure that you have a high value, high premium kind of offer.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that people don't do is that they don't. Let me see how I should put this one.
Say it.
Okay, so they don't know how to speak the language of the people they serve. And let me put it this way. Usually you have three kind of people in your audience, right? Three kind of people. You have people who are warm, right? They're ready to buy. You have people who are lukewarm. They're on the fence. And then you have the cold people, right? Who don't know you, don't like you, don't trust you, don't care for what you have. Most of the times when people are selling, they have one message. That one message will not reach the three audiences. So you have to change the narrative based on who you're speaking to. You can have the same product, but change the narrative. You can sell the same car, but if you're selling on, if you're renting on Turo, it has to be different than if you're renting with Enterprise than if you're on Booking.com. Different language, different audience. And so we miss people and miss money because we don't know the narrative of each audience. So if you have something that's a warm audience, you use warm words, you let them know, okay, this thing is, that's when you can tell them 24 hours, you have 24 hours to get this offer. That's not going to work for your audience who don't know you, like you, or trust you. For the audience who don't know you, you have to have an introductory offer for them. You have to know how to tell them how the product is going to make their lives better. If they don't know you, they're not going to trust your words. So instead of saying to them, buy my thing, buy my product, you start educating them on what will happen if they don't buy your product. There's a difference. You know what I mean? So you have to know the language of your audience. That's very important. You also have to listen to your audience. A lot of times we approach life how we are. If we believe we're bosses, we step into a place and we just start talking. And we do more selling when we listen more. You have to listen to what the people are saying, listen to what they want. I'm hoping that Sam is watching because I did say I would use him as an example. But if let's say you're in photography, right? And your audience, every time you go up, question?
No, I'm a photographer. So you're speaking to me.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Every time you go out to do photography work, people are asking, do you do video? Do you do videography? Do you do this? Do you do that? You want to create something where you can offer a videography. Now, what if you start doing videos and then they start asking you when you go, hey, do you have the 360 thing? I want to do selfie thing. You offer that. Listen to the people. We miss money because we don't listen to our people. We don't listen to what they're like. If you listen enough when someone is talking, you can always identify what they need versus what they want. And so you have to listen to their want, but give them what they need. So somebody may need transportation. Somebody may want, like they want transportation, but what they need is Uber. Or what they need is Lyft, because they'll tell you where their budget is at. Lyft is different from Uber. You know what I'm saying? Are they saying to you, can you pick me up? But they're not saying it. If you listen to people long enough, you'll know what they need versus what they want. I hope this is making sense. Is it making sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, this is awesome.
Okay.
Keep going. You got a few minutes. Keep going.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so we also have to look at the fact that selling is not selling, it's actually serving. A lot of people, they don't make enough offers because they think used car salesman, people not gonna buy, I'm selling. No, selling is actually serving. I always ask people, when you go into a restaurant, right? You go there because you're hungry, right? If you go to the barber shop, you go there because you want a haircut. Anywhere you go to get a service, you go there because you want the service. They didn't do you a favor. They provided a service, you pay them money, it's transactional. So it's the same when you're providing a service to your people, you're not selling, you're serving. The more people you serve, the more money you make. The more you listen, the more service you'll do. The more you serve, the more money you make. So when you look at selling as serving, then it won't be as icky as some people make it seem. It won't be hard for you because all you have to do is tell your story and you'll be serving those people who need to hear your story, and then they'll want to connect with you. One of the reasons why you have to look at it as serving is because the more people get to know your story and get to like you, they'll support you more. And I'll use this as an example. How many of us, like, we have our, like, our favorite place to go just because we like the owner? We don't necessarily like the workers, but we like the owner, you know? So you're like, you know what, I'll support my boy. You know, I don't like something, but I'll support my boy. When people like you, we see this with the election. I strongly believe that more people voted Democrat in the last election because they did not like Trump. They did not want Trump to win again. So they went the other way, right? It's not necessarily because the other party has more answers or they're better for the economy, whatever. They just wanted to get rid of Trump. It's the same way. A lot of people don't support your business because they necessarily don't like you, or they support because they like you. Sometimes I support my friends not because I want the product, which is where some authors go wrong too. They start selling to their friends, or you hear some people say, it's the people who don't support you. They're already confident they don't need your book. See what I'm saying? You're selling to the wrong. Your friends and family won't make you rich. You're selling to the wrong. Don't listen. All that talk about people not supporting you're selling to the wrong people. You're selling to the wrong people, right? So people support you if they like you, and then they don't support you if they don't like you. So even if you don't want to be in the business, make sure that people like you. Serve people. Do nice things. Say nice things, right? Because the Bible tells us that if we want to win friends, we have to be friendly. So be friendly. Be nice to people, and they will support your business. So we have to do that, right? What am I missing? Let me see if I can find another thing. Don't
give it all to them. Listen. We gonna set up Confidence Factor workshop. You know what I'm saying? For them to get. Don't give them all the secrets now. Okay. We told you we gonna give you some simple steps. We gave you some simple steps. Now we need to find out where they can find you. That workshop. Go ahead, Bobby B.
Listen, Dr. Joan. Oh my God.
Level.
You hit the nail on the head. You understand me? We are listening to The Strangest Secret with Earl Nightingale. And I'm going to tell you something. You said something that was already in there. I've been listening to this for 3 months.
Wow.
But when you said it, this is why it's important to show up as who you are. And that sometimes people can hear things they can't hear from other people, right? What you said resonated with me so much because I've been listening to Strangest Secret for 90 days. And he's been saying that. And I'm listening to you say it in the context of how you use it in your business. And it just like blew up. You said, look at selling is actually serving. And Earl Nightingale, he says that. He says, listen, the more people you serve, the more money you can make. And the trouble is we want to get more money without doing more serving.
Money is a byproduct of what we do. It shouldn't be it's a byproduct.
Yeah, it's the effect, right? Not the cause, it's the effect. And wow. So awesome. Okay, listen. Obviously, you said something that resonated with me. I know there has to be more people. We're all shaking our heads. You've already, you went into the photography. You hit Jersey. You hit the nail on the head with each of us individually, right? But you probably, Dr. Joan, you said something that resonates with some of the guys that are home. They're leveling up in their business. They're just getting started. They're saying, "Hey, Dr. Joan, what you're saying speaks to me. I dig what you're saying, and I'm ready to move. I'm ready to act." How and where can they connect with you so that they can follow, get some more of your content, get some more of these great tips that you're sharing with us tonight? How can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so the best place to find me is on Instagram at Joan Wright-Good. And they can go to my website as well at www.businessstartupacademy.live. They'll see all the services that we offer. They'll get to look at the books. They'll see some of the courses. Everything will be there.
All right, so we got that. We got it. We appreciate you so much, Dr. Joan. What you've done for us so far. We know that we're going to be working with you again in the future. And listen, so much you shared resonated. I didn't even get to my questions at all. But that seems to be happening lately. We seem to have these great guests on, and there's a huge demand to come back. We didn't even get to all these comments. You got people over here talking about makes perfectly good sense. Some people are taking notes. They've reiterated some of the things that you shared already. So you have a whole fan club running on the sidelines here. So we appreciate you. We're going to move you back to the green room, and please don't leave us. We some things we'd like to share with you, probably some gifts for you as well. So we'll move you back to the green room. Appreciate you. Thank you for having you. Respect and honor you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Man,
we got the golf clap.
Man, I got ideas here. I got notes here. I got some other stuff. I got some questions I still need answered. Oh my goodness. Rudy, what did you get, man?
Man, what didn't I get? Listen, it's an elevation, right? It's using each opportunity, each tool, each service or product, each of the things that you have in your life now and building upon it. Apple took a phone, right? Apple took a phone, and what they did is they used their software, right? It wasn't about the phone, it was about the software, and they elevated the software to the point where we have 14 phones later, or 11 phones later, because it skips on 11 phones later, we have the phone, the iPad, the watch, the AirPods, this. Like, they've elevated their service, but they started with just a software that they put into a phone. So that's what I got, man.
Excellent. Lamont, 30 seconds. Give it to me. What'd you get?
If people are asking you questions, they see you as an expert.
Boom! There
Baby.
you go.
Fill the void. Create something that you can make money to answer those questions. I love that.
So powerful. Dr. Love Jones, hit me. You got 30 seconds. Tell me what you got.
Move from the pain point to the pleasure point. That's what spoke to me, because oftentimes when we messaging, we stay on what hurts, but we want to move from that and get to what feels good. And that's the thing that most people want, is stimulation. They want to be stimulated. So we got to stop focusing on the pain and start moving them to the pleasure.
Absolutely. Guys, that's our show for tonight. This is CF Talks, where we have heart level conversations that lead to transformation. If we didn't learn anything tonight, we learned a whole lot from Dr. Joan tonight, and her story, her journey exemplifies tonight's inspiration injection, which simply says, start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Man, what a great show tonight. We appreciate you guys for watching. And remember, in everything that you do, make sure that you keep it
hard level. Dr. Jones, hard level, Dr. Jones.